class of 1950. Thank you all for being here. We're so happy to have you. Are there any elected officials in the audience? Other than you, Governor, you might be holding it down, okay? Now I want to ask the Lincoln University faculty to please stand. Yes. We know that you all work tirelessly to get our students to this point, and we are so grateful for all that you give to Lincoln University. Also, the following three faculty members, some who could not be with us today, but are appropriate to acknowledge their accomplishments and retirement from Lincoln University. Associate Professor Dr. Safra Kwame retired from the university in December 2023 after 34 years of service in history, Pan-Africana studies, philosophy, and religion. He was recently awarded Professor Emeritus status by the Lincoln University Board of Trustees. Professor Ginwan Muzarera was also granted Professor Emeritus status by the Board of Trustees in April. Dr. Muzarera retired from Lincoln University in May of 2024 after 26 years of service, also in the Department of History, Pan-Africana Studies, Philosophy, and Religion. Oh, and then there's Professor Patrick, who recently retired from the faculty after serving 22 years in the mathematics department. And Dr. Joseph, who are you? Oh. Dr. Joseph, who is our provost and dean of the faculty. Dr. Joseph was granted Professor Emeritus status by the Board of Trustees and is retiring from the university after 40 years of service. Over the span of those 40 years, she has demonstrated both expertise and compassionate oversight in a variety of positions, including a professor in the classroom, our middle stage co-chair, coordinator of the first year experience, chair of the sociology and anthropology department, dean of professional, graduate, and extended studies, vice president for academic affairs, and in 2018, she joined me as my provost and dean of the faculty. I have appreciated her input and insightful contributions as a member of my cabinet. The university expresses profound gratitude for her years of service and wishes her all the best in the years ahead. Thank you, Dr. Joseph. So please join me in thanking all four of these professors for their well-deserved achievements, as well as their dedication and service to our students in the university. Thank you, faculty and members. Okay. We have other significant distinctions whom I would like to recognize at this time. Please stand if you're able as I call your group. We have with us, what's that word, Harry? Tenacious, who are they? Class of 1975, where are you? Did you make it in? Y'all a little quiet now. Doing a rock study last night, you're a little tired, huh? I would also like to acknowledge the presence of two known remaining members of the class of 1950. Dr. William Bennett, Emeritus Trustee, who's here with us on the podium. Right. And only as God would have it and Lincoln University would embrace it, we also have with us Mr. John Gordy, who was Dr. Bennett's roommate at Lincoln when Horace Mann Bond was president. But we want to applaud you all for 75 years and your continued investment in Lincoln University. Can we give these two gentlemen a hand? I always like to take a few minutes to acknowledge the journey of a few of the members of the graduating class. Their stories of perseverance, struggle, victory, and breakthrough are extraordinary. I received many very deserving stories that I am not able to really share with you at this time. However, I want to tell you that each of you, that your stories of perseverance, of struggle, of victory, of breakthroughs are all important and all encourage you to share, we encourage you to share them as you continue on your journey. For those whose testimonies I will read today, I ask you to please stand as I call your name and read a brief narrative of your journey. So do I have Akaya Henry Riley? So Akaya shared that, and I quote, "I am a first-generation college student and a leader. As the oldest of 5, I have developed strong leadership and problem-solving skills, taking charge, setting clear expectations, and leading by example. Growing up in a single-parent household, I had to step up as a second mother, navigating emotional hardships, financial struggles, and the uncertainty of where my next meal would come from. Despite those challenges, I remain determined to create a better future, balancing academics, leadership, work, and personal growth while striving for excellence. My journey at Lincoln University has been about resilience and impact, serving as NABA, National Association of Black Accountants Secretary, soprano section leader, mentoring other students spiritually, and embracing my multi-dimensional talents in finance, leadership, and the performing arts. I leave Lincoln with gratitude, having received opportunities, knowledge and a strong community, and I hope to continue to uplift ambitious students like me. My legacy is one of perseverance, leadership, and commitment to breaking generational barriers. I look forward to continuing my journey at Exelon as an associate staff accountant. She has a job in their leadership program. I give glory to God for the abundance of blessings He has given me and how He has developed me into the woman I am today and will become. Congratulations, we applaud your journey. The next story, I learned one late, but we have 2 parent and child graduations here today, which is just a beautiful thing. And so I'm going to briefly mention Ian, Roger Haywood, and Jelani Makaya M. Hall, both graduating today. Can you stand for us so we can acknowledge you? Thank you. And I received a longer story from Jason and Jayana China, father and daughter. Can you please stand? Today's commencement ceremony is deeply meaningful occasion for this remarkable father who is finishing at the School for Adult and Continuing Education in Philadelphia, and his daughter on main campus, as they both achieved the distinguished honor of graduating summa cum laude. Their parallel academic success is interwoven with a powerful story of familiar inspiration, unwavering dedication. Diana's encouragement and challenge catalyzed her father, Jason, to return to higher education, igniting his passion to excel. Jason's commitment to sharing his milestones with his daughter was vividly demonstrated by his ambitious summer 2024 semester, during which he undertook a demanding schedule of 6 online courses, ultimately achieving a perfect 4.0 for the semester. This extraordinary effort ensured that he would not only proudly walk across the stage alongside his daughter, but be the graduate student valedictorian. During her matriculation at Lincoln, Diana utilized her artistic skills as a painter and mixed media artist by serving as designer illustrator and the art director of RAD, Research, Advertising, and Design, as well as president of the Sketch Made Art Club at Lincoln. She also serves as curator, programmer of Lincoln University's Project Success Internship Program. It is no surprise that today she is receiving her bachelor's in visual arts. Adding to their collective achievements, Mr. China's hard work and academic prowess have been further recognized through his prestigious Bond Hill Scholarship to Temple University, where he will pursue his master's degree in counseling in the fall. How nice. Their shared graduation, marked by summa cum laude honors and Mr. China's valedictorian achievement, is a testament to their individual excellence and the profound impact of mutual support within the family. Congratulations to both of you. And finally, I want to share this one last story because I met this young man while in the barbershop. You know, the barbershop is an interesting place. I'm sitting there getting my hair cut, and they do as they do in barbershops. They throwing around these stories, horror stories of the past, of survival. And I look at him and I say, you should go back to school. And here he is today in front of us. So James Bowman, can you please stand? He has an amazing story. On Sunday, April 1st, 2007, a single gunshot by a Pennsylvania state trooper irrevocably changed James's life, leaving him with a severed spinal cord, a collapsed lung, and the crushing news of permanent paralysis. Paralyzed from the waist down, the attending physician's words echoed in his mind when he shared that walking would forever be beyond his reach. But brother just stood up, right? Okay, but there's more to this story. Adding on this physical trauma, he faced drug possession and resisting arrest charges, leading to a 5-year prison sentence by an all-white jury, not a jury of his peers as promised by the legal system. Despite the profound physical and systemic barriers, James slowly healed both mentally and physically and began a journey of self-discovery. With an unwavering belief in himself and a refusal to surrender to his circumstances, he focused on education as a pathway to empowerment, not only for himself, but for others facing adversity. His degree from Lincoln University lays the foundation for the commitment to giving back and empowering others to conquer adversity. His passion and vision are already evident through his barbershop in Kennett Square, what he calls mental health support or barber therapy. I get a little of that down there. His partnership with Garage, a local organization providing after-school programs for youth, and his peer mentorship at McGee Jefferson Rehabilitation in Philadelphia, where he learned to walk again. Navigating incarceration, recovering from a traumatic injury, and overcoming socioeconomic barriers, today marks a significant milestone in James's journey. As the first college graduate in his family today, this 46-year-old African-American man earns his bachelor's degree in human services, graduating summa cum laude from Lincoln University. James will now pursue his doctoral aspirations in psychology at Westchester University. He is poised to amplify his impact on the lives of others. What an extraordinary journey. And I'm happy to say that his partner in the barbershop will be in the class next year. And if y'all know Tyrone, who cuts your hair sometimes on campus, we'll be celebrating him next week. So the barbershop is a great place for a president of a college to be, because I get all these brothers back in school. So thank you. That was fun. Now, before I turn the podium over to my board chair, Gerald Bruce, I wanted to ask Trustee Bruce, Trustee Vaughn, Trustee Lancaster, and did Trustee Archie didn't make it down? Trustee Archie, you got time to come up here for me? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Y'all could just, they didn't know this was coming. But I want to share with you all that in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic, Lincoln found itself in a leadership crisis. The story of that time is well documented in the press, so I won't go through that again. But what I want to also acknowledge today is that these four men showed the most courageous, inspired leadership. They took forward the charge, I call them the Fantastic Four, to help to ensure Lincoln's future. These four gentlemen went above and beyond to challenge threats to the university's governance and to move the institution, I'll see how ad hoc this is, right? Out of crisis. For their effort to protect the Lincoln legacy, I would like to award them with, and I made this just for you guys, but excuse me, pardon me. Open it up. Open it up. Put it on. Put it on. Yeah. So you can do this when you're president. So I decided I'll make a medal. So I'm awarding them the first of the Presidential Medals of Distinction. We thank you so much for all that you did and all that you continue to do for Lincoln University. And I want to make sure that I recognize you at this momentous occasion. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Get it out. I should have did that, but I didn't. Okay. Ready?
Thank you. Thank you.
And now I will welcome Trustee Bruce to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Good morning, class of 2025. This is my last class. This also was the first class that came in when I became chair in 2021. So I have a kindred, I'm your kindred brother. I'm part of your class. I'm from the class of 78. They won't mind me joining your class. It's cloudy outside, but it feels like the sun is shining in here. It feels like there's a lot of energy and excitement. And this is the most fun part of my job, is to see the enthusiasm, the energy, the excitement, that sense of accomplishment. Congratulations, class of 2025. And good morning to you, Dr. Allen, Governor Moore, and all distinguished guests, our esteemed faculty, proud families. Now, I know you guys are going to get all the glory today, but there are people who made this possible for you. Your families, your mother, your father, uncles, aunts, cousins, grandma, your guardians. Let's give them a big round of applause. It definitely takes a village, but here you are. Every time I meet someone who says their child is graduating, I congratulate them. because of the work that they've done to help to get you here. So, today we gather at the intersection of reflection and anticipation. We celebrate a milestone that not only marks the culmination of your academic journey here at Lincoln University, but it signals the beginning of your next great chapter. It is a moment that asks us to honor the past, embrace the present, and prepare to shape the future. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I extend our warmest congratulations to this graduating class. You have worked tirelessly, sacrificed deeply, and dreamed boldly, and today you rise. Lincoln University is no ordinary place. It is a living legacy, the first degree-granting HBCU in the United States. A university built not on just bricks and mortar, but on purpose and perseverance. Through every lecture, every late night study session, every difficult choice, you have carried that legacy forward. You came to Lincoln to learn, but you gained far more than knowledge. You cultivated wisdom. You developed discipline. You discovered your voice. You came to Lincoln to liberate, and you did, not just yourselves, but the ideas that bind us. You challenged convention. You confronted injustice. You reimagined what is possible. You came to Lincoln to lead. And now the world awaits the power of your vision. The measure of your leadership will not be in title or status, but in the lives you uplift, the systems you transform, and the truths you stand for, even when standing alone. Your class is no stranger to uncertainty. Some of you, as Dr. Allen said, had to navigate the pandemic, protests, economic shifts, and social reckonings, all while pursuing your education. You turned obstacles into opportunities and adversity into achievement. This is not just resilience. That is legacy building in motion. In the words of the African proverb, quote, "Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors," unquote. You are now seasoned voyagers, ready to chart new waters. As chair of the board, my charge to you is simple, but it's vital. Keep learning, not just for degrees, but for understanding. Continue liberating your communities, your ideas, and your ambitions. Always lead with humility, courage, and integrity. Do not wait for the world to hand you permission. It rarely does. Instead, carry the fight of Lincoln wherever you go, and illuminate paths for others to follow. Again, to the class of 2025, know this: you're not leaving Lincoln, you're taking Lincoln with you. In your hearts, in your minds, and in your actions, you carry a legacy born of brilliance, boldness, and boundless potential. So rise as scholars, as advocates, as change makers. Learn, liberate, and lead. Hail, hail, Lincoln!
All right, thank you, Chairman Bruce, for everything. And we've celebrated you, but again, we are so grateful for the leadership that you provided this university over your past 4 years as chairman of the Board of Trustees. I now invite Dr. Dees, professor in the Department of Language and Literature and director of the Horace Mann Bond Honors Program, and my incoming provost, dean of the faculty, to the podium to introduce the valedictorians for the class of 2025. We are proud that so many of the class have earned this outstanding scholarly distinction. Dr. Dees.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to have the valedictorians come up to the stage. It is a great pleasure It is a great pleasure to celebrate 7 valedictorians for 2025. There is something so profoundly moving, not only about Black excellence, but excellence that is shared. So when we look at these valedictorians, we know that they embody what all of you have possessed, which is perseverance, determination, and a pursuit for excellence. It gives me no greater pleasure to introduce them. I'm going to introduce them all together, and then they're going to each give a speech to you. So first, I would like to introduce Fortune Umgabe. He is a proud Nigerian and computer science major from the Edo State, Nigeria, a passionate leader and global thinker. He served as the president and king of the African Student Association and as a community advisor during his time on campus. Fortune is pursuing a career in tech as a development ops engineer and product manager with a vision to build solutions that empower communities worldwide. His long-term goal is to combine technology, entrepreneurship, and service to create opportunities across the African continent. Poojan Patel is a finance major hailing from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. During his time at Lincoln University, he has served as the 2-time Man of the Year, trivia team captain, and president of the National Association of Black Accountants. Additionally, he has started his DJ and photography business on campus. After graduation, he plans to work as a sales strategy analyst for a consumer packaged goods company and to continue his entrepreneurial journey as well. Okay, third, Praise Olakan, a proud Nigerian and lifelong learner with a passion for research, healthcare, and making systems better for people who need them most. She earned her bachelor's at Lincoln and is now diving into her graduate studies at Johns Hopkins School of Nursing. When she is not buried in coursework, she is dreaming up stories, chasing curiosity, and finding joy in the journey. Number 4, Chineri Ofer is a proud Nigerian and passionate problem solver with a love for technology, storytelling, and creating a meaningful impact. She earned her bachelor's degree in computer science and mathematics at Lincoln University and will be stepping into the next chapter of her journey as a full-time software engineer. With plans to pursue an MBA in the near future, Janeri is driven by a desire to build better systems and bridge the gap between innovation and accessibility. When she's not coding or building something new, you can find her writing, reflecting, and finding beauty in the details of everyday life. Itioloa Ibichie is a proud Nigerian with a deep love for God and a passion for tutoring, working with data and numbers, and serving others. After obtaining her Bachelor's of Science in Mathematics and Computer Science, she'll be pursuing her Master's in Artificial Intelligence Systems at Carnegie Mellon, where she'll be studying how AI can be ethically applied to best serve minorities and those in need. Outside of classes, she spends her time in church, performing in choirs, going to the gym, and exploring cities. Hi. Eager to showcase her creativity and help businesses grow, Tamia R. Johnson is a Philadelphia native. With dreams of working in social media management and graphic design. Receiving her BS in mass communications, Tamia plans to start her career after college as the social media coordinator for CMPR Radio Net and a podcast host on Embrace Dreams, the podcast. And finally, as a dedicated seeker of knowledge and wisdom, Jason China from West Philly, who cherishes poetry and philosophy alongside his deep love for his wife. He spreads positive energy alongside with love and laughter while promoting peace in every place he visits. Jason obtained his bachelor's degree in human services with a psychology minor from Lincoln University and plans to start graduate studies in counseling psychology at Temple University with a specialization in marriage, family, and sex therapy. Outside of his academic responsibilities, he finds enjoyment through sports activities alongside hip hop music and video games and cherishes quality moments with his family. You know it's a good day when you have to stop speaking for a minute so everybody can applaud. So I welcome to the stage Fortune.
Oh my God. Everyone looks good today. So first off, good morning, everyone. All protocols duly observed, but most importantly, the resilient and brilliant class of 2025. I'm deeply honored to stand before you here today. First off, God is good. And without him, this wouldn't be possible. Every step of this journey has been guided by his grace, and I give him all the glory. As a proud Nigerian and international student, I arrived here with 2 suitcases at the Philly airport with a heart full of hope and belief that education could change my life. On getting to Lincoln University, it became more than a school, it became a home. Let's take a moment to recognize the long nights, the doubts, the faith, and everything it took to get to this day. Today isn't just about a diploma, it's about the story behind it. Each of us carries a story of sacrifice and growth. Some of us were the first in our families to walk this path, and some of us crossed oceans and borders just to get here, while others fought quiet battles that no one else could see. Yet, we are all standing here together. To my fellow international students, your journey matters, your sacrifice matters, and your story is powerful. And to every student here, whether you traveled across continents or you came past counties, you've proven that you have what it takes to face the unknown and win. And to the people who made this possible, to my professors, especially Tiffany, and to Ose, and to my friends, thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your guidance, and thank you for your patience. To my parents and siblings who are actually watching online, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your prayers and every word of encouragement across different time zones. Your love and support has truly carried me till this day. Also, shout out to my mom. It's her birthday in a couple of days. And to my uncle and auntie who are actually here with me, somewhere at the back, thank you for standing here with me, and thank you for being with me every step of the way. Lincoln taught us not just to make a living, but to also make a difference. So to the class of 2025, dream boldly, lead with compassion, and live with integrity. Let's carry the pride that Lincoln has instilled in us and show the world what we're made of. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2025, and thank you guys so much.
Good morning, good morning. My name is Pujan Patel. I'm a finance major. When I first got to Lincoln University in August of 2021, I was eager to find my passion. I was fixated on choosing a major that would reflect this passion. You see, I thought I needed to choose a major that I loved every little detail about, or else I wouldn't be happy. Lincoln was generous enough to show me that I was wrong. In my freshman year, I thought I was going to be a mathematics major. Then I walked into my Calc 2 class and I changed my major that day. Things don't always go according to plan, but I learned that you must always be flexible. Flexible like how I had to be in Dr. Williams' class when he assigned me 4 hours of homework on Super Bowl Sunday. But looking back at it now, I feel gratitude. The work got done and I developed as a student. I learned that all he was trying to do, in his own way, was make us better. It's professors like him that actually look out for his students. He provided me with internships when I was struggling, and the Lincubator presented opportunities for me to present research in the Netherlands. And for all of this, I thank you, sir, because you helped me to make me into a stronger student. You see, at Lincoln, faculty becomes family and a village is created. It's because of involvement like this that has helped me to land a full-time job post-graduation at a Fortune 500 company. Thank you. Create my own business as a DJ and a photographer, and grow Lincoln's trivia team tenfold. By attending Lincoln, I became flexible and resilient and prepared for any obstacle that came my way. The path to finding your purpose becomes more clear, but it is done so through difficulty. The class of 2025 shares the grit needed to thrive in this environment, whether it means navigating a pandemic your freshman year or dropping 50 points on Cheney's basketball team. The class of 2025 has always stood as an island of excellence in a sea of mediocrity. The HBCU journey we have all experienced has been a transformative one, and I am blessed to say that I was surrounded by pioneers, visionaries, and trailblazers as I went through it. I have had the opportunity to gain the proper confidence of who I have become over who I was supposed to be in order to feel fulfilled. As the great artist Bob Marley once said, none but ourselves can free our minds. Thank you to my Lincoln family for everything you poured into me. Thank you to my parents for guiding me. Thank you to my friends for holding me down. I conclude here when I say Lincoln will forever be my home and the place to which I can attribute the startings of my many achievements to come. Thank you, Lincoln University, for serving as the genesis of Black higher education. I love you, Lincoln. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. That's a big act to follow, but my name is Chris Olalikon. I'm from Nigeria, and Yeah. My journey at Lincoln has definitely been eventful. I've had my ups and my downs. One of my biggest downs was when the nursing program lost its accreditation and I needed to figure out what I was doing in a very short period of time. But it actually taught me two of the most important lessons that I'm taking away from Lincoln: gratitude and resilience. I'm grateful to God for bringing me here to be able to stand in front of everybody. Without God, I would not be here. I'm grateful to my parents, my siblings, my family for their support, for always being my rock, for always being proud of me. Without you guys, I don't think I would be here either. I'm grateful to the friends at Lincoln who have quickly become family. Valerie, Mena, Ite, Chinyere, thank you so much. I will do this journey with you over and over again. And two of them are actually up here on stage with me. So get yourself a good friend group. I'm grateful to the professors and the faculty that have helped me in times of need. To the professors of the Health Science Department, you did so much for me. Dr. Nelson, the many, many opportunities you provided me helped me to get to where I am today. To Miss Terry, Miss Faison, thank you for always being there for us. Thank you for being our surrogate parents in this strange land. To my fellow students, I know our journey here has not been without its struggles, but we all made it here today. We are all seated here today looking amazing. And I think if you have the resilience and the gratitude to be here today, you are able to get through anything. Some of us are going to grad school, some are going to work, and some of us don't have any plans at all. Whatever group you fall into, just know that the resilience and the strength that it took for you to be seated here today will get you anywhere. And trust me, if the anxious 16-year-old that came here after losing one of the two luggage that she needed to leave here could make it to this stage and also be a student at the Johns Hopkins University School of Nursing, you can make it anywhere you want to. Just persevere and use the strength and the resilience that you've gotten from this school. I am so, so proud of this class, and I cannot wait to see where we all go. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Chinyere Obiageli-Ofo, an international student from Nigeria. I stand before you, a product of God's grace. When I look back on the past 4 years, my heart overflows with gratitude. Every step forward has been shaped by the kindness, support, and guidance of so many hands that have lifted me, people that have believed in and walked beside me. I truly would not be where I am today without them. First and foremost, I want to thank God. His unfailing love, boundless mercy have been the foundation of my journey. Time and again, he has gone before me, straightening every path, lighting the way when I couldn't see what was ahead. In every high and low, he has remained constant, my strength when I was weak, my peace in chaos, and my closest companion. Truly, his goodness has carried me every step of the way. Next, I'd like to thank my family. Their unwavering support, endless encouragement, and unconditional love have been a pillar of strength in my life. In moments of doubt, they reminded me of who I am and what I'm capable of. I'm truly blessed to have them by my side. I would also like to thank my advisor, Dr. Smith, my professor, Dr. Tawoshe, the library and its wonderful staff, the Office of International Programs and Ms. Terry, the Office of Internship Services and Ms. Faison, my professors through the years, my new family, Abundant Life Center, my pastors, and everyone who has contributed towards this milestone. Now, to the people of the moment, the bold, resilient, and inspiring graduating class of 2025. This milestone is no small feat, and you should be incredibly proud of how far you've come. Over the past few years, you faced challenges no one could have predicted, from adapting to new ways of learning, to pushing through personal struggles, academic pressure, and moments of self-doubt. You kept showing up. You kept going. You turned long nights and early mornings into growth, sacrifice into strength, and uncertainty into resilience. And now here you are. You didn't just reach the finish line, you crossed with purpose and pride. So take a moment to soak it all in. Celebrate this victory because you've earned every bit of it. And as you step into the next chapter of your journey, know this, you have what it takes. The world is waiting, and the class of 2025 is ready to make history. Thank you.
Good day, everyone, and a very big congratulations to the graduating class of 2025. My name is Iteoluwa Ibutwe, and I'm proudly representing my home nation, Nigeria. So today I could read a list of achievements, but I'd rather give all the glory and honor to the one who has been my source of strength, the reason I can even stand here today, my Lord and personal Savior, Jesus Christ. So I came to the US August 2021 at 16, naive, uncertain, and a 24-hour flight away from everything and everyone that I knew and loved. So balancing academics, work, extracurriculars, life in a new country while being very homesick was very overwhelming for me. And at a point, I was lost and really struggling. But my God promises to go before us and to prepare the way for us. And he did exactly that and more for me. God placed helpers for me everywhere, people that have shown up for me with invaluable love, care, and guidance. And I'll be thanking them all today. So first and foremost, thank you to my family. A big thank you to my mom and dad, who by God's grace could be here today, even though I can't see them. So I could never have asked for better parents. I've missed you both so much, and words can't express my gratitude and love for you. So my home away from home, the Kolawolles, thank you for taking me in as a daughter. To my siblings, friends, and family across the globe and watching online, your check-ins and your words of encouragement meant a whole lot. To my Lincoln parents, Dr. Mike Ayewo and Miss Miller, the world needs more people like you, and I'm so happy to have met you here. To my professors, every single one of you have been very instrumental in my journey. A big shout out to Dr. Smith, Dr. Tawose, Dr. Timebody and Nike, Dr. Shu, my first research supervisor, and of course, my amazing supervisor, Dr. Ayeli, who has helped me so much with career decisions. Miss Faison, Miss Terry, my church family at ALC, Pastor Buki, thank you all for being a part of my success story, which I guarantee you is just beginning. So last but never the least, to my friends, we've watched each other grow and made so many memories. And if I was to do this journey again, I'll choose you over and over because I couldn't have survived it here without you. Now to the class of 2025. Though I don't know every one of you and you don't know me, I want to say that I'm very proud of each and every single one of us. We've all made it through various challenges and we're off to the real world to do great things. Now, to those that might be lost, overwhelmed, maybe not knowing what to do next, especially in this current climate, I will leave you with the words of 1 Peter 5 verse 7, which says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Trust me, I've been there. Cast all your burdens on him and watch him transform your life and cover you with his love and an overwhelming sense of peace that makes no sense. Thank you.
Good morning, families, friends, administration, faculty, staff, guests, and most importantly, graduates. My name is Tamia R. Johnson, and I'm honored to deliver a message for your hearts and for your minds. We did it. We passed our classes, completed our credit requirement, and gained the knowledge needed to start our journey as the next healthcare workers, activists, creatives, teachers, business owners, and so much more. However, as I look back on my college career, I think about the things you can't learn from a professor, a textbook, or a Cengage lesson. Like how there wasn't a class on how to manage my mental health. There wasn't a class on balancing the relationships that come and go. And there wasn't a class to teach me how to find myself as an individual. These things were learned through experiences, and I can honestly say that Lincoln University was a resource to allow me to have these experiences. I'm faithful, so I always try to turn to the word of the Lord. Romans chapter 5, verses 3-4 states, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Through our struggles and experiences, we gain more than knowledge. We gain wisdom, the ability to apply that knowledge with good judgment. We develop a sense of self with confident expectations and a better understanding. My peers, as we turn our tassels and receive our degrees, I encourage you to embark on your next steps with the wisdom you gained from your Lincoln career and with the desire to learn so much more from your future experiences. Understand that your struggles build character, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It is with that character development that would allow you to strive in any field you apply yourself in. Congratulations to the Lincoln University of Pennsylvania classes of 2025. Thank you.
Shout out to my man Pooja. He did his thing. That's a bad boy. When I first got this, I started feeling like I was getting PTSD because I felt like I was doing another paper. And I'm over that. So first I'm gonna start off and say peace to the gods and the earth and to the ancestors. We appreciate your sacrifice, we do. I was created by a collision of the sun and the moon, my father and my mother. Together y'all created a prophet with a spirit animal as black as a unicorn that kept elevating me above and below. I miss y'all. Next to the glorious five, my family. 5 points to the star, starting with me. I want to thank me. I want to thank myself, because I did this. You know what I'm saying? I earned this, I deserve this. Next, I want to thank my earth, my legendary wife, wherever you at, baby, Mr. Killer China. You were truly designed for me. Always next to me, never behind me. We are equal in value, you are my goddess. Next, my Triforce, my children, my two sons, G and King. Y'all taught me that being a man is much more valuable than being the man. Keep showing them black men can heal and nurture, express love, celebrate our women out loud and stop fronting. Show them that we can do all of these things along with providing and protecting. And to my 2-pound preemie baby miracle daughter, Johnny Unique China. Clap for her. My biggest inspiration, my fellow graduate, my woman child. I'm so proud of you, so proud of us. This has been an incredible story. Now let's work to the sequel. We are living proof that bridging the gap between generations is so powerful for our legacy. This is our valedictorian achievement. Your expression and love of art helped my reality be more free. To my family, here's an extension of the China clan, ultimate gratitude. Now, old heads appreciate the youth. Don't always criticize. They got it from somebody. We were once the young bucks. Don't forget that. Young lions and lionesses, honor those who came before you. Care about your past and your history, because one day you'll hope not to be forgotten. And that's why we fight so hard to be remembered. Because one day you'll hope not to be forgotten, because you're old longer than you are younger, so enjoy it. Lincoln University SACE program gave us something priceless. Hope. Hope for those who felt stuck. Hope for those who thought their dream had passed them by. Programs like SACE must be supported, celebrated, because they prove it's never too late to change your life and do what you love. You hear my story, you hear James' story, all y'all out there, go to school. Come back to school. Keep this going. Give us some money. We need it. Being at an HBCU like Lincoln has been more than education. It's been a celebration of Black love, Black unity, and Black excellence. The spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood here has motivated me tremendously. We are stronger as teammates and not opponents. Bridging the gap means honoring the knowledge of the past, applying wisdom to the present, and creating success for the future. And while you work, don't forget to play, y'all. Don't play too much, but play. Adults are just children who got big, that's all. Adults in the mind and kids in the heart is what I always say. That's a great balance for peace within. Have the courage to seek wisdom that will grant you power. Before I close, I offer special and final thanks to Lincoln University and the SACE program, powered by the 4 chambers to the heart. The matriarchs in motion with motion. Jernice Lee, Dr. Kennebrew, Professor Dawson, Professor Dawson, Professor Dawson, and Professor Webster, who couldn't be here. And to Dr. Wiley, I appreciate you, King. I said you created a lane for me I didn't even know existed and turned my imagination into a reality. Ultimate respect to my man, Brandon Ruff. We were A1, friendly competition. We let them know that hunger is the best food. And we ain't full yet, King. To my fellow graduates, keep elevating and changing the game, especially to the 16. We won a championship. From now on, we should be known as the Sankofa 16 to 6 because we returned and we took that. Keep bridging the gap. Peace, love, and respect. The Prophet China out.
Let's give them a round of applause. Who has 7 valedictorians? And y'all know that Brother Ezekwe is up in the sky, just smiling down with his Nigerian legacy just still coming through, breaking records. Congratulations to those students. We are pleased to hear once again from another group that continues to make us proud. Ladies and gentlemen, our talented Lincoln University Concert Choir. The choir will perform All Good Things. All Good Things will be added unto you. Choir.
Seek ye first the kingdom of his love. Make him first in everything you do. If you just trust and never doubt what he said, all good things will be added unto you. Seek ye first the kingdom of his love. Make him first in everything you do. If you just trust and never doubt what he said, all good things will be added unto you. Twice he fed a multitude with the smallest bit of food, and they all gave thanks to him that day. Still today you won't believe that to give is to receive, that the words that he said will never fade. Seek ye first just to see his face and call you friend. Seek ye first the kingdom of his love. Make him first in everything you do. If you just trust and never doubt what he said, all good things will be added unto you. All good things will be added unto
Yeah. Thank you, choir. That makes me smile. One more round of applause for that. Thank you. Okay, would you all please join me in welcoming Dr. Patricia Joseph, Provost, and then the faculty who will introduce our commencement speaker. Dr. Joseph.
Good afternoon. The Honorable Wes Moore is the 63rd Governor of the state of Maryland. He is Maryland's first Black governor in the state's 246-year history, and is just the third African-American elected governor in the history of the United States. Born in Tacoma Park, Maryland on October 15, 1978, to Joy and Wesley Moore, his life took a tragic turn when his father died of a rare but treatable virus when Moore was just 3 years old. After his father's death, his family moved to the Bronx, New York, to live with Moore's grandparents before returning to Maryland when he was 14 years old. Moore is a proud graduate of Valley Forge Military Academy and College, where he earned an associate's degree in 1998 and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. Afterwards, he went on to earn a bachelor's degree in international relations and economics at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, where he graduated Phi Beta Kappa. While Moore interned in the office of the former mayor, Kurt Smoke, and he was the first Rhodes Scholar in the history of Johns Hopkins University, where, as such, he went on to earn a master's degree at Oxford. In 2005, Moore deployed to Afghanistan as a captain in the 82nd Airborne Division, leading soldiers in combat. Immediately upon returning home, he served as a White House fellow advising on issues of national security and international relations. Moore went on to build and launch a Baltimore-based business called Bridge Edu, which reimagined and reinvented the freshman year of college for underdeserved students. This business was acquired by a Brooklyn-based student financial success platform, Equity, in 2018. Along with a significant history working with international banks, Moore also served 4 years as CEO of the Robin Hood Foundation, headquartered in New York City, where during his tenure, the foundation distributed over $600 million toward lifting families out of poverty, many in Maryland. Governor Moore and his wife, Dawn Flight Moore, are the proud parents of 2 children, Mia 13 and James 10. Finally, Moore is the notable author of two major best-selling books, 5 Days, which tells the story of Baltimore in the days that followed the death of Freddie Gray in 2015, and where our own Chief Mark Partee is featured, and in his perennial 2010 New York Times bestseller, The Other Wes Moore. In Chapter 2, we learn about what is perhaps the true basis of his greatness. His Jamaican-born grandfather, the Reverend Dr. James Thomas, is a 1946 graduate of Lincoln University. Moore also shared in that book an amusing story about his grandfather's meeting and sharing an ongoing relationship with another Lincoln classmate and alum, the great Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. So let's now welcome home this illustrious grandson of Lincoln University, our 2025 commencement speaker, the Honorable Governor of Maryland, Wes Moore.
Lincoln, what's going on? Man, God is good. And all the time. Yes, now. Provost Joseph, thank you so much for the beautiful introduction and for the leadership, and to President Allen. I mean, what can I say? President Allen, you just lead with such remarkable grace and distinction, and I'm thankful to call you not just a friend, but a partner inside this work. Thank you for this invitation to have me here this morning. Thank you so much. And also to Chair Bruce, and to all of the Board of Trustees, and to the staff, and to the faculty, and everybody here. I cannot tell you enough what an honor it is, and what a joy it is to come home. And I say that because to be here and as part of this class of 2025, and first of all, big shout outs to the class of 2025 and congratulations on everything you all continue to do. And I'm really proud of this class because if there's something that I know, is that graduations are not a given. They don't just happen. That I know that for some of you, you started here 4 years ago. For some of you, you started here a little longer than that. That for some of you, you came and you transferred in. For some of you, even walking onto a college campus was not a given as you were coming up. That for some of you, you were trying to juggle 2 majors as you were completing. And for some of you, you were trying to juggle 2 jobs as you were completing. And so to the entire class of 2025, I say with deep pride, congratulations, you have earned this day, and this is your day to celebrate and be celebrated. It's a celebration of your work, it's a celebration of your persistence, but also it's a celebration of the shoulders that you stand on. And I do want to share a little bit about some of the shoulders that I know I stand on. Because for me, this is a pretty easy assignment because I had some pretty broad shoulders that I know I stand on right now. I'm proud of the fact that I know, I have a lot of family here today. A lot of my family came through to watch you celebrate. Hey, what's going on, family? I got a lot of family here, and I'm really proud to have them here because, first of all, I want them to be here to watch me become a doctor because I'm expect everyone to call me doctor from now on. They're not going to call me doctor. But also, it's important to have them here because the connection to Lincoln University is deeper than that for us. because I am very clear you cannot understand my journey if you do not understand Lincoln University. And while I know that I am probably the most improbable governor in this entire country, and again, not just because of my own personal past, but because of the past of my state, that I am the governor of a state that was the birthplace of redlining, that I am the governor of a state that is home to some of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War, that I literally right now work in an office building that was built by the hands of enslaved people, that I work in a building that is just down the street from one of this country's first and largest slave ports. This journey was not predestined. Yet I still stand before you as the first Black governor of Maryland and only the third Black governor ever elected in the history of the United States of America. But I stand here not just because Lincoln University is one of the premier institutions of higher education in this country. It's because this school created a way for me. Because you created a way for James Joshua Thomas, my grandfather, who was born in South Carolina, was the child of Jamaican immigrants who were new to the United States. Yeah, Nayardi. But when my grandfather was just a child, when he was just a toddler, he and his parents fled back to Jamaica because they were chased away by the Ku Klux Klan. Because my great-grandfather was a minister, and he was a vocal minister. He was the type of minister that didn't just teach the Word of God, but he expected people who were here on earth to act accordingly as well. And the truth is, we're talking about a time when being Black and outspoken was a crime, even if it wasn't on the books. So in the middle of the night, after threats from the Klan, my family fled. And despite the fact that my grandfather was just a boy at the time, he never forgot that moment that one of his first memories was watching this country reject him. Watching this country reject him from something that should have been a point of pride and not a point of prejudice. And many members of my family and many members of my extended family, they vowed to never return to this country, and many members have not, and still live in Jamaica. But James Thomas loved this country too much to let the cruelty of others determine his destination. In fact, I always say, in all of his humility, he would always say, "This country will be incomplete without me." So he came back, and the place that first welcomed him in the United States of America was this great institution of higher education called Lincoln University. Where my grandfather came here to Lincoln University, met lifelong friends, and eventually he became the first Black minister in the history of the Dutch Reformed Church, following in the steps of his father. And when he became a minister, the same threats that were coming to my great-grandfather started coming to him, but my grandfather stuck. And even though he died at the age of 87, while I was serving overseas in Afghanistan, this is a man who had a deep Jamaican accent his entire life, and maybe was the most patriotic American I've ever met in my entire life. Because my grandfather was able to chart an unusual path to go from being an American exile to an American patriot. And I know that I often ask myself, what would make him come back, despite the fact that those are some of his earliest memories of this country. And my grandfather's journey actually helps to underscore some very complicated feelings that I know that I and many people do have about this country. He taught me that you will find lessons not just about national pride or national spirit, but you will find lessons in his story about what it actually means to be an American. That first, he taught me that patriotism is not and it cannot be a passive activity, because the love of your country will be tested, both in big ways and small. But patriotism is a responsibility of a lifetime. Second, he taught me that patriotism is not a belief that your country is perfect, nor is it an understanding that your country has ever been perfect, because loving your country does not mean lying about its history. That being an American has always come with struggle and sacrifice. And I can tell you, struggling, for someone who's been married for 18 years, struggle and sacrifice is a real thing. But it's worth fighting for. And third, he taught me that skepticism about your country is justified. And you should always keep skepticism as your companion, but it should just never be your captor. Let the hard truths that you've learned about America be guides towards a better future and not grudges that will keep you in the past. And I've tried to live in accordance of his lessons. And just as I stand here as part of my grandfather's legacy, so are all of you. Because the same hope and pride that he had in my journey was the same hope that he had in yours. That you, this class, you are the living custodians of our nation's past, and you are the architects of its present, and the relationship that you will build with this country will help determine the future of what this country hopes for. Because in many ways, our country is just deeply divided right now into these two camps. But it's not left versus right, it's not red versus blue. It's a divide between those who will use patriotism as a club to beat others, and a divide of those who feel ashamed to bear the flag. Between those who think that loving America means hating half of the people in it, and those who allow the cynicism of our nation's history to obscure our aspirations. That we've been told by one group that America is perfect. We've been told by another group that America is irredeemable. It's a binary that leaves no room for people like my grandfather. A man who saw evil, but who still had the courage to claim his piece of the American dream. It's a binary that leaves no room for someone like me. A boy who felt handcuffs on his wrist by the time I was 11 years old because I grew up in a community that was over-policed, but who also now stands in front of you as the chief executive of his state. It's a binary that takes the easy way out. Because it's easy to love a country when you reject the need for self-explanation and self-examination. It's easy to rail against a country when you're unwilling to be a part of its betterment. The hard part is being honest about our flaws and being courageous enough to be the ones who are willing to address it. We need to think beyond these old binaries of moral purity as a real metric that defines this country. That real patriotism is neither waving a victory flag, nor is it waving a white flag. That real patriotism is understanding that every fingerprint is actually going to matter. And I'll close with this about why Lincoln University becomes so important in that conversation right now. Because there's few institutions that embody this more than Lincoln University. I would just remind the people who question whether or not an institution like this can adapt inside this moment, I would remind them that Lincoln University was founded in a moment like this. that this school received its charter in 1854. This school received its charter at a time when our nation's fabric was being tested and it wasn't entirely clear how this nation would end up. That this school received its charter at a time when our country didn't even yet view African Americans as 3/5 of a man, because back then, for most Americans, even that seemed generous. And still, in the middle of so much division and chaos, your founders came together and created something that was needed and enduring. Lincoln University. The story of Lincoln is a story of an abiding love. And I know that Lincoln was built for a moment like this because Lincoln was built in a moment like this. And that's why you're so needed. That's why your graduates are needed. That's why people like Drake Smith is so needed. Where you at, Drake? Drake Smith is a public servant. Drake Smith is a patriot. Drake Smith is a Christian. He is a family man, and he is a Marylander. And I'm very clear, I'm just keeping the seat warm for you, brother. That's all I'm doing. Where Drake helped to organize and lead a 3-day march and successfully demanded the release of millions of dollars of funding for Lincoln University. And now he's on his way to divinity school. I know that Jordan Hall is a patriot. Where you at, Jordan? That Jordan came to Lincoln interested in psychology, but a psychology professor, Dr. Linton Williams, shout out Dr. Williams, convinced him to consider entrepreneurship instead, and he joined the student incubator and eventually became its manager. In the fall, he will join the team at Opaque Institute for Economic Development while studying on a full scholarship. Congratulations, Jordan. I know that Valerie Otutu is a patriot. Valerie, where you at? What's going on, Valerie? Valerie was born in Nigeria, but she came to the United States because she knew this country, like my grandfather said, would be incomplete without you. And today she graduates with a degree in computer science and has accepted a full-time position at one of America's great Fortune 500 companies. Congratulations, Valerie. We are a nation of patriots who serve when the mission is hard and who serve when the destination is uncertain. Because making America great doesn't mean telling people you're not wanted. Making America great doesn't mean saying that you're not needed. Making America great means telling people the ambitions of this country would be incomplete without your help. It is a true legacy of the soldiers and the builders and the preachers and the teachers. It's a legacy of the veterans and the ministers who prayed for our success. It's a legacy of the prosecutors who kept our communities safe, the public defenders who watched over all, the professors who inspired our children. It's a legacy of people who marched and who prayed and who voted and who organized so we can make it to this point. And yes, it is the legacy of a proud Lincoln alum, Reverend Dr. James Joshua Thomas, who was never invited to the Maryland State Capitol, but whose pastoral shawl now proudly sits framed on the walls of his 63rd governor. So class of 2025, today and every day, we give thanks to those who came before us. We give thanks for those who might not have known us or might not have known our names, but they woke up every morning and fought for the hope of us. We give thanks because the future prays that you will work on behalf of the hope of our future, the same way the ancestors were willing to work on behalf of us. So as you take these next steps, all I ask is this: live in such a way that when you hand off this country to the next generation, your descendants will welcome you and they will say that we understood the assignment. And that is the most patriotic thing that you can ever do. So God bless you, congratulations, keep leading, keep growing, and keep making us all proud in everything that you do. God bless you guys, and congratulations 2025.
That's now Dr. Governor. Congratulations. Thank you. Can we give the governor one more round of applause? Okay.
I'll choose you over and over because
Finally, more
From something.
welcome.
You know, I have a lot of family here today. A lot of my family came through to watch you celebrate. Hey, what's going on, family? I got a lot of family here, and I'm really proud to have them here because, first of all, I want them to be here to watch me become a doctor, because I'm expect everyone to call me doctor from now on. They're not going to call me doctor. But also, it's important to have them here because the connection to Lincoln University is deeper than that for us. Because I am very clear, you cannot understand my journey if you do not understand Lincoln University. And while I know that I am probably the most improbable governor in this entire country, and again, not just because of my own personal past, but because of the past of my state, that I'm the governor of a state that was the birthplace of redlining, that I'm the governor of a state that is home to some of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War, that I literally right now work in an office building that was built by the hands of enslaved people, that I work in a building that is just down the street from one of this country's first and largest slave ports. This journey was not predestined. Yet I still stand before you as the first Black governor of Maryland and only the third Black governor ever elected in the history of the United States of America. But I stand here not just because Lincoln University is one of the premier institutions of higher education in this country. It's because this school created a way for me. Because you created a way for James Joshua Thomas, my grandfather, who was born in South Carolina, was a child of Jamaican immigrants who were new to the United States. Yeah, Nayardi. But when my grandfather was just a child, when he was just a toddler, he and his parents fled back to Jamaica because they were chased away by the Ku Klux Klan. Because my great-grandfather was a minister, and he was a vocal minister. He was the type of minister that didn't just teach the word of God, but he expected people who were here on earth to act accordingly as well. And the truth is, we're talking about a time when being black and outspoken was a crime, even if it wasn't on the books. So in the middle of the night, after threats from the Klan, my family fled. And despite the fact that my grandfather was just a boy at the time, he never forgot that moment that one of his first memories was watching this country reject him. Watching this country reject him from something that should have been a point of pride and not a point of prejudice. And many members of my family and many members of my extended family, they vowed to never return to this country, and many members have not, and still live in Jamaica. But James Thomas loved this country too much to let the cruelty of others determine his destination. In fact, I always say, in all of his humility, he would always say, "This country will be incomplete without me." So he came back, and the place that first welcomed him in the United States of America was this great institution of higher education called Lincoln University. Where my grandfather came here to Lincoln University, met lifelong friends, and eventually he became the first black minister in the history of the Dutch Reformed Church, following in the steps of his father. And when he became a minister, the same threats that were coming to my great-grandfather started coming to him, but my grandfather stuck. And even though he died at the age of 87, while I was serving overseas in Afghanistan, this is a man who had a deep Jamaican accent his entire life, and maybe was the most patriotic American I've ever met in my entire life. Because my grandfather was able to chart an unusual path to go from being an American exile to an American patriot. And I know that I often ask myself, what would make him come back, despite the fact that those are some of his earliest memories of this country. And my grandfather's journey actually helps to underscore some very complicated feelings that I know that I and many people do have about this country. He taught me that you will find lessons not just about national pride or national spirit, but you will find lessons in his story about what it actually means to be an American. That first, he taught me that patriotism is not and it cannot be a passive activity, because the love of your country will be tested, both in big ways and small. But patriotism is a responsibility of a lifetime. Second, he taught me that patriotism is not a belief that your country is perfect, nor is it an understanding that your country has ever been perfect, because loving your country does not mean lying about its history. That being an American has always come with struggle and sacrifice. And I can tell you, struggling, for someone who's been married for 18 years, struggle and sacrifice is a real thing. But it's worth fighting for. And third, he taught me that skepticism about your country is justified. And you should always keep skepticism as your companion, but it should just never be your captor. Let the hard truths that you've learned about America be guides towards a better future and not grudges that will keep you in the past. And I've tried to live in accordance of his lessons. And just as I stand here as part of my grandfather's legacy, so are all of you. Because the same hope and pride that he had in my journey was the same hope that he had in yours. that you, this class, you are the living custodians of our nation's past, and you are the architects of its present, and the relationship that you will build with this country will help determine the future of what this country hopes for. Because in many ways, our country is just deeply divided right now into these two camps. But it's not left versus right, it's not red versus blue. It's a divide between those who will use patriotism as a club to beat others, and a divide of those who feel ashamed to bear the flag. Between those who think that loving America means hating half of the people in it, and those who allow the cynicism of our nation's history to obscure our aspirations. That we've been told by one group that America is perfect. We've been told by another group that America is irredeemable. It's a binary that leaves no room for people like my grandfather. A man who saw evil, but who still had the courage to claim his piece of the American dream. It's a binary that leaves no room for someone like me. A boy who felt handcuffs on his wrist by the time I was 11 years old because I grew up in a community that was over-policed, but who also now stands in front of you as the chief executive of his state. It's a binary that takes the easy way out. Because it's easy to love a country when you reject the need for self-explanation and self-examination. It's easy to rail against a country when you're unwilling to be a part of it. Call me doctor from now on. They're not going to call me doctor. But also, it's important to have them here because the connection to Lincoln University is deeper than that for us. Because I am very clear, you cannot understand my journey if you do not understand Lincoln University. And while I know that I am probably the most improbable governor in this entire country, and again, not just because of my own personal past, but because of the past of my state, that I am the governor of a state that was the birthplace of redlining, that I am the governor of a state that is home to some of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War, that I literally right now work in an office building that was built by the hands of enslaved people, that I work in a building that is just down the street from one of this country's first and largest slave ports. This journey was not predestined. Yet I still stand before you as the first Black governor of Maryland and only the third Black governor ever elected in the history of the United States of America. But I stand here not just because Lincoln University is one of the premier institutions of higher education in this country. It's because this school created a way for me. Because you created a way for James Joshua Thomas, my grandfather, who was born in South Carolina, was the child of Jamaican immigrants who were new to the United States. Yeah, Nayardi. But when my grandfather was just a child, when he was just a toddler, he and his parents fled back to Jamaica because they were chased away by the Ku Klux Klan. Because my great-grandfather was a minister, and he was a vocal minister. He was the type of minister that didn't just teach the word of God, but he expected people who were here on earth to act accordingly as well. And the truth is, we're talking about a time when being Black and outspoken was a crime, even if it wasn't on the books. So in the middle of the night, after threats from the Klan, my family fled.